Why, hello, guys. It's GleeCon, and I'm back again with Glee Contessa here. And we are, we're gonna start our record. I haven't seen you guys in a couple days, and you know what? I apologize for that. That is all on me. Tuesday, I gave myself a rest day because I'm quite, just been busy at work. I've been wiped. And then, yesterday was just bad planning on my part. I started baking a tomato pie. And I really underestimated the amount of time it was going to take me to do this. And, well, really, my plan was to do this episode that you're looking at right now last night, and then I got further and further along in my baking, and I realized I grossly underestimated the time, and then I screwed up and forgot to turn the oven on. I'm like, man, this pie's taking forever. I made a tomato pie. So then that just reset it. By the time it all finished, I was like, there's no way. You just don't know. So this is Stocks, what you're looking at. Most of you guys are probably familiar with this. This is the most common Alliance dungeon in the game, most commonly run. Nice, quick, easy peasy. We've run it on this channel before, actually. We're going to run it now. So Glee Contessa, you're looking at before us. After this, we will be all good to go with the whole zone, but we're going to do all quests, if at all possible. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quests. And then we're going to look at time and see how quick it took us to run. This is a very short dungeon. I wouldn't be surprised if we were done within 30 minutes. Okay. So he's saying he's going to... we're just talking. This is a 3 pally party, so my Sanctity Aura should be pretty nice for this one. We have this guy, our warrior Alaric. He's gonna run. He's gonna run as our tank, and then the only non-pally DPS we have is because our tank. I mean we got 2 DPS paladins, me and this guy, and then we have another healer paladin. Then we have a mage coming. I am by far the highest one at level 35. Mobs aren't going to be doing a lot to me down here. Not to mention, they're not going to be giving me a lot down here. That is what it is. That's not why we're here. We're here for all the quests. There's only one quest remaining that's even worth XP for us. The Stockades Riots. That's the quote-unquote toughest guy at the end, Basil Thread. I believe he is the guy in the dungeon who is level 29. Which is why this is a level 29 quest. When people get here, they should be here any minute. One of the people was right outside of Stormwind, and then the other was in Ironforge. So worst case scenario, we should be looking at... yeah, so they're both here in Stormwind now. One's in Elwyn walking over. And this other person is all the way up already to us. So the one that's in Elwyn is now close. Caramella, that's our healer. I think. Maybe it filled in reverse order, I feel like. So that means Carabella would be the healer. From a lore perspective, we've done a lot of quests. We picked up a lot on the last episode. We finished off the Wetlands, and we went on a run picking up all the quests for this. So, the head of Targor is an orc that's being held in these prisons that should have been executed because he's one of the main people that have been attacking the Redridge area as part of the Blackrock Orcs, but he's been being kept alive. Quell the Uprisging, that's the guards here saying, hey, while you're going in the prison, we'll get to that in a second, can you please kill... The Devious have taken it over, so kill the prisoners, kill the convicts, kill the insurgents. And while you're at it, why do you want to go in there? Well, we've been told to go in there by Basil Thread. Or something like that. I think it's the name of the guy. Or, no, I'm sorry. This is different. Dextrin Ward. Well, there's a guy who, in Duskwood, who is a necromancer, who has been, who's associated with the necromancer, Dextrin Ward. He was digging up bodies and selling them to the... There we go. There's our healer. One to go. Selling them to necromancers, and so that's a crime punishable by death, but for some reason he was kept alive. The Color of Blood, there's a woman who had a 14-year-old son who volunteered to help the guards out, or be a guard, possibly, scarily enough, and he was murdered, because he's a kid when they took over, and so now she wants... she wants, revenge by getting their little masks, and this is one of the final set of masks, if not the complete final, that we'll get in this game. Okay, cool. Here we go, and we're gonna now start rocking and rolling. So, we're gonna kill every single mob in the area. Starting with the Defius Captive, he's going to pull some dice. Okay. Now I'm just going to continue to help. So it looks like this is a second captive. This guy's, he ran off and got someone too. And we are going to get that. So this is now a convict. I believe convicts are the ones that are the most likely to... create issues for us. Now we might have to go back in here and get some various things, whether that's... Okay, I'm gonna let my energy come off a little bit. We might have to come back in here and come back for whatever, whether it's people that we have to kill. Looks like the captives are not part of it. The wool masks, we need some of that. So all these captives is worthless, but I will come back in here and solo that as necessary. I'm gonna just sit on this for a little bit, and I will try to point out. We just went in door to door. It's when you have a competent group, this is a ridiculously easy dungeon. So I just got one mask right there. That's good. I don't even think that was necessarily my loot. I'm gonna let the healer now take care of that. Okay, good. They froze him, which is nice. And he's already pulling the next one. So we just cleared these 2 rooms. Now, right off the bat, we're at another intersection here. And we have our boss right here. So Torgor the Dread is a boss. He is the one I mentioned. He's the easiest of said bosses. And he is the... We just killed another convict, by the way. There you go. We have his head. So now we have more captives. Those are prisoners. I think the prisoners are something we want to kill. But yeah, it's very, very, very... There we go. We got our second mask. We only need 10. That's the only thing that could potentially fight over. So if you look at the map here, there are 4 entry rooms. We're already on the 4th. And then there's basically 3 wings. Each wing has another 4 rooms, and then a kind of a triple room that finishes off with a T-junction, kind of, with a central room and then 3 side rooms. So, boom, prisoners. We are crushing the prisoners already. My mana's getting back in good shape, so I'm getting ready to switch back over to hitting him up with both soon. Okay, good. That prisoner's dead. And now all 4 of the intro rooms and we're coming out. Alright. Now, the healer is not getting rid of these infected wounds, so... Not a lot to do there. And on the way back out of the dungeon, I'm also going to run to make sure there were no wolves left behind. Wool masks. My mana's a little low. I mean, not my mana. My life was getting a little low. The healer got me. It's fine. Okay, that was a convict we just killed there. A couple of them. Go ahead and help out a little bit since the healer doesn't seem to be doing it. Go ahead and help these guys out. Alright, so now we're decided to make our way to the left, it would appear. And we're going to start by fighting a couple captives, but really, there is not a lot. There's a reason why this is the most commonly run dungeon, and it is because it's just so darn easy. There you go. I got a third bandana because it looks like Carabella doesn't need that. Oh, there you go. I don't know if we're pulling from the other wing. Thanks, seems to... Okay, oh, I missed this tiny little room up here. So there is a couple more soldiers. Oh, look at that. I got my fourth thingy. Help the healer out. But 3 paladins is pretty cool. It really makes my Sanctity aura shine. And it's now time for me to put buffs back on the team. Okay. Ooh, I do not need those. Those are worse than my pants. Excellent. So, I got them anyway. I missed that tiny little room at the top. Now, of the 26 guys, we're at 8 so far. Only 8 of them have been the correct type of dude. And we're going to head down to the west. We're going into the west wing now. Good show, good show. I had never really watched West Wing, never really heard of it until a couple years back. I watched them all, binged them all. So here are some inmates. This is a new type of mob. I don't think we've killed any of those yet. And I am eager to do so now. You can also, I mean, it depends on how Chadley you are as a tank, but it's pretty good to get a whole big squad as a mage. It's pretty nice when the tank in this dungeon can pull big groups. I probably shouldn't have wasted the... Okay, now my mana's starting to get low again, so... Now I'm not going to help the healer with their infected wound. And... no, well, maybe I will for a second. I need to see this dude. Okay. Alright, fine. I love that we have some people not on the... not on the quest, because that makes it so much easier to pick up just a bunch of prisoners. Which apparently we need 10, so these 3 should fill our quota on those. I really want to get a weak aura or a mod or something that that tells me when my short-term buffs, really any buffs, need to be reapplied. So this is us clearing out room. Oh, another thing. That's our 6th bandana. All good. So coming to the intersection here. But as you can see, it's pretty much rinse and repeat. You're just basically watching me have fun with this dungeon. It is not a dungeon that requires a lot of skill. It's not a dungeon that requires strategy. It doesn't require good pulls. Really, you can kind of screw it up, sure, like as with anything. You could Leroy Jenkins it. We now no longer need prisoners. But... Cool. Yeah, I don't... This is a Night Elf warrior. That's a couple more inmates. Inmates are not part of what we need. Part of our process here. But they do have a chance of giving us a mask. Nope. I'm not even going to roll on that. Bandana it is. I don't care about the locked box. Actually, I could use my... There you go. I'm at 8 bandanas now. This is the final of our 4 side rooms. You notice that we still have not had a secondary boss yet. Now the captives, nope, they're not one of the specials. They are not one. This healer is really just letting the poison sit on there, the disease, I mean. And as a paladin, I know she/he can cure it. Okay, I'll get in there on him. Oh, yeah, I had to use it. When he stunned him, I had to do it. Okay, buffs are getting ready again soon. I'm gonna save some mana up and start to buff. He just pulled... excuse me. Pulled a single prisoner from around the way. 20 seconds off of my buffs. Alright, so we're heading into this final room, which makes me wanna hit the buffs up right now. This is the healer. Stayed out of the room. Yeah, put him back there. There we go. Seems a little silly of me, but it is important to get those buffs up. They're powerful. And we're about to be at a junction where we get a couple... I would have stunned him if I was really afraid. Put the wrong seal on. Waste of magic. I mean, we have a pretty... I'm going to drink one of those potions, honestly. Just chopped him in the back. And then we have... Now, these guys right here in this particular room, they could hit you with a chain pull, possibly, if you had bad luck. Alright, so in the 3-way junction here, we have a captive, inmate. Yeah, we're all good. Plus he has an has a feature that makes it to where you can't open its tracker by click. If you are in the middle of a fight, you can manually do it by pressing the L button. Go, my 9th one. But if you notice, I think we're still kind of low on our actual tracking here. This is probably our 10th one. Yep. Alright, we're going to go now to the north. Don't need those. Okay, so this is another group of guys. Just dudes. Prisoner. Inmate. Prisoner. Inmate. And we don't need any more inmates. Okay. Probably don't need any more prisoners. Yeah, we have them all. Somebody got all of the... So, I'm gonna go ahead and... After these guys... little gnomish mage just popped through there. Yeah, even with this group where our tank is level 24 is... not causing any problems. But I mean the healer's working for it, and if we had to... I had to kind of help with the healing, I could potentially have to do that. Nice. Alright, there's still one more room. There is a boss in this final room. And what are we at? We're now at 12 out of 26, so we're basically 2/3 of the way through the dungeon. And we're not even halfway with the kills. So that means there's probably a decent chance. We're going back in there. There's Dextrin Ward. I'm gonna hit that dude up. So he is technically the toughest of the bosses. I'm gonna hit him with a stun. Stronger damage there. I have 2 minutes left. Fine. That's fine, just fine. Mana's getting a little low. I'm gonna drink another one of these because I don't care. Uh-oh, he's got his head. I need to take the poison off myself. Okay. Got an inmate over here. It doesn't really matter if they run. Because we've cleared the wing. There we go. Okay, boom. Couple more guys still here. Uh-oh. Mage died, so the mage aggroed somebody. Mage had to have aggroed someone. I don't know where he was, but he had to have pulled some aggro off. And that is what it is. One of us will res him. So that, I don't know who you could blame that on if you really had to play a blame game. There he is right here. I'll res him. Okay, so he got stuck. He glitched out. That was probably the part of it. All right, so I'm gonna reapply buffs now. Don't know where he's at. There he is. He was looting in there. Okay. I don't really need to rest or anything. I will just make my mana. Alright, so still, we did not get, hopefully in the final wing here, we check out some guys. Otherwise, I'm going to say that I at least want to reset for the quest. But we only have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 7, 8 rooms, basically. And then we did the 8 on that side, and then we can call this a room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know who he was talking about. Why did you take my thread away from me? I don't know if because he just said that. Was he talking to the mage? Was he talking to... I mean, I'm just going on one... I'm just single targeting, so if I pull the threat off single target style, I'm not really worried about it. Alright, these are the insurgents. This is a group of guys that we need 8 of them. So that's valid. Okay, I'm a little bit low. And convicts, this is also, these are the guys we need, the convicts and the insurgents. So good on us. There's another convict, this is another insurgent. So it's worth considering, or worth keeping an eye on, that this is our squad here. Okay. No, those are neat, but they're worse than our last one. So now we're going into remember, room 2, because there's 8 total rooms. Inmate, inmate. Insurgent and insurgent in the back will be useful. Okay. Nice, I got a nice fat crit on him. Now, my crits are not crazy yet. Like, for instance, my Feral Druid, who's at level 45. I'm getting close to having some of my best crits be in the 1000 category, or ballpark. So I'm not there yet. But that 360 or whatever I just had is none's too shabby. Okay, another insurgent down. Fantastic. So that's cloth. We don't need that. Alright, so that is, we're down to 6 rooms, but we're up to 18 out of 26. This is a convict also. Inmate, no, but here's Cam Deep Fury. Old Cam is the guy, the Dark Iron Dwarf that we need. So that's great. Remember, there are 6 bosses. They got his head. Inmates we don't need. And convict we did need. So that was that room and that room. I'm just double checking, making sure we didn't miss it. So out of the 6 rooms we need now. Insurgent, inmate. We do have a convict. And another insurgent. Now insurgents, we're starting to get closer and closer to them being done. Yep. Well, I guess we're only halfway. Okay. So I guess when you look at it, the East Wing, we had Cam Deep Fury. I think we have a boss back here too. I don't think we've killed the Necromantic boss yet. Okay. Alright, so that guy wasn't worth anything, but I'm good. I don't even care about the large solid chest. Oh, we still have a dude over here. Still have a dude. Okay, so there are insurgents right here. And we have inmates. So I just didn't want to miss this last room. Especially when we still... Ooh. Nah, I don't need that. That's a one-handed sword. It's a pretty decent tank sword. But who knows what they already have. Alright, time to rebuff. I'll do that in the middle of the fight. No worries. Okay, so convict. 6 of 8. And insurgents are getting there too. One-handed hammer, we don't need that. Okay, down to needing 1 convict. It's gonna be close. Surgeon, I think we need around 2. So let's double check. No, we need 1 of each. 1 insurgent, 1 convict. Don't care about the chest. But we're down to the final 4 rooms. Here's a mini boss, Hamhawk. I wouldn't particularly call him a boss. But he is he's a dude for sure. Okay, so coming at him, we're just gonna kind of see where he goes. Whoa, what is that mage doing? Okay, whoa, whoa, did he get feared or something? Yeah, I'm using a potion. Heal myself here. Okay. Oh my gosh. So, we did die. What the freak? Okay. So, we're gonna be running back into that dungeon. Wow, from outside. I don't know that I've ever wiped in Stockades. Okay, so, I mean, he did pull the whole dang area. This mage is, I don't know, having issues. So, wrong touch skill, yeah, I guess so. I mean, it can happen. My guess is he had to have poured it into the middle of the room. That's the only thing I can think of. And then, like, Chain ran around and got more ads. That's the... Like, that is that's such bad luck on what you're doing. It's almost intentional. To get yourself wiped in Stockades with 3 paladins like that, you almost have to intentionally sabotage. So, It happens. It's most likely bad luck. It's someone that probably is just, you know, learning their class or having a bad day or something. Or we've been infiltrated by Al-Qaeda. So, or whatever. Name your infiltrating organization of choice. So now I'm saying that. We'll see. I said. Alright, so did that dude just seriously wait to be rezzed? Ha! Oh, okay, it's the warrior. Alright, fine. I will allow it if it's the tank. Alright. Let us reapply the buffs of power. We were close. Alright, so we did get an insurgent in that chaos, and we killed the mini-boss, so we just have one convict. We have to hopefully get one convict. Throw a heal on homeboy since he's about to run forward. Alright, what do we got here? It is an insurgent, not a convict. I will allow it. I guess we don't need to... Oh, Hamhawk's not giving us any decent loot. Okay, and I'm gonna do the insurgency. Okay, so we got another room. There's our final conflict. We're gonna do it. We're not gonna have to reset the dungeon. I love that. Yeah, see, he's running in Cross Nova-ing and hitting with Arcane. So my guess is that he just needs a little training in his class. He needs someone to teach him the ways. But not everyone has been playing this game for 20 years. And not everyone is like a middle-aged dude like me. He could be a kid, he could be, you know, new to the game. Not to be offensive, but he could have some sort of, you know, handicap or impediment. He said they were resisting. He said they're resisting my taunts, and I said you have to be meaner. Talk about their moms. Because I am funny. Unlike some people that say don't joke on my time, I will joke on your time. I will joke on this group's time. I don't care. I don't give a freak. And it is Stockades, and we've already wiped. What are we gonna do? Double wipe? Maybe. I don't think there's enough mobs left in the dungeon for us to double wipe. But maybe... maybe the terrorists will go after us again. They're like, oh really? You think there's not enough? You just wait and see. What is that mage doing? Somehow this mage, look at, and now look, he's just going toe to toe in the guy's face. Alright. I think we only have one room left. This room. Hey, buddy. Well, that's another thing is, no one is picking up, no one is, like, dedicatedly picking up the, mobs running. There's Basil Thread. He is the level 29, the final boss. Okay, so... he is the quote-unquote hardest dude in this dungeon. Okay. All my mana's gone. That's okay, though. You can hit me all you want, Basil Thread. I don't care. You're dumb. Ah, I said it. Somebody just leveled up. Grats for leveling up, whoever that was. And we got Basil Thread's head. Well, good game. Aw. Alright, so we have full clear of the dungeon. How long did that take us? 35 minutes with a wipe included. And a pretty uninspiring pug there. And I think we've got time with such a quick run for us to start turning some things in. So we're going to begin with turning in Quell the Uprising.
Well met.
In the Stockade Riots.
Your efforts in the Stockade were valiant, adventurer. It's obvious this problem is bigger than the both of us, but you have performed well, and for that, I am thankful.
Either you bring me Thread's head or I'll take yours. Understandingly, Contessa.
Without Thread to lead them, hopefully the riots will be more controllable. We shall see. I must say, after a half hour, I hardly expected you to come out, but it seems I misjudged you. I'd guess then that you didn't get much useful information out of him. But I know a thing or two that might be of interest to you about Thread's activities. During the first years of Thread's imprisonment, he never had any visitors. I figured that he was no longer of use to the Brotherhood, so they abandoned him. Anyway, a few months ago, that all changed. He started to get regular visits, once, maybe twice a week. It was a strange man, the quiet type. I had my suspicions, but all his papers checked out. His documents claimed his name was Malik. Here's his description. I don't think he'll be coming to visit Thread anymore.
What am I going to do? They must have someone helping them.
Be careful.
Alright, so he gave us a quest. So we just turned in Quell the Uprising and the Stockade Riots. So let's hit up the old spreadsheet. Since we haven't looked at this bad boy in a couple days. What? How can we live our lives without looking at this spreadsheet? Quell the Uprising. Done. Let's go over to this. Bam, bam. And the Stockades Riots. Done. Which picks us up on a curious visitor. Done. Pickup. We're already now sitting probably equal to the quest count that I've completed over the past 3 days combined. I have not been having a lot of time to play my beloved lore of Warcraft, World of Warcraft. While we're here, I want to pick up a quest too, because I think our next zone is Hillsbrad, and I want to get ready for said zone. Actually, I could just look at the spreadsheet. Hillsbrad is next, so if we find any zones and any quests in the area that are Hillsbrad related, I don't think there's anything that we have to worry about over in the Kalimdor neck of the woods. That's Nomergon, so no, we're good there. And we already turned in wool. I bet you we have, yep, we have enough wool to make us a deposit while we're here. So we'll do that when we run over to Ironforge in a minute. Malin's request is Arathi, that's far off. Tinkmaster Overspark, that's Nomer, that's Swamp, that's Desolus. That's the quest we have to turn in. Nomer. That's, even though it says South Shore, that's actually an Alterac Mountains quest, I believe. Or maybe, yeah. Whoop, I hit it too many times. That's a Alterac. Okay, so I want to turn in these two. So we're going to go over. And we will make a little stop off in Ironforge. Actually, while we're here, should we turn in the wool? Yeah. Ooh, excuse me. Silk, we still have, you know, we can still get some points of first aid out of it. But wool, we are fully collecting wool to do the turn-in now. So we're not going to mark this one on the spreadsheet. We may once upon a time mark it. As you collect, once you've found yourself not really interested in using a particular tier of cloth anymore, not counting linen, save them in stacks of 60, and you can turn in 1 per race.
Friend, Stormwind needs your assistance and your generosity. Our once large stockpile of textiles has run critically low. Stormwind is now engaged in a multi-pronged effort to rebuild those stocks for the manufacture of textiles and bandages. Your donation of cloth would help Stormwind immensely, as well as earn the respect of the citizenry.
Okay, then for a donation of wool, it says, we are currently accepting donations for wool cloth. A donation of 60 pieces of wool cloth will net you full recognition by Stormwind for your generous actions. Our stores are such on wool that we would only need 60 pieces from you total. We should be able to acquire enough from others in the realm to support our drive. If you have the 60 pieces of wool cloth on you and are ready to donate them, I'll be able to take them from you now.
Wonderful. We thank you for your generous donation, adventurer.
Thanks. So that gave me 150 plus 10% for being a human, 165 rep, and 650 experience. Not really amazing, but it beats a sharp stick directly inserted into the eye socket. It is better than that. I can't confirm that based on any type of personal experience, but one would assume. I should be able to, now that, weekend hours are coming upon me. Today's Thursday, so it'll be easier over the next few days because I'll have more freedom in my schedule, so I shouldn't miss any records over the next few days. Next week, I can already tell you I'm going to miss one on Tuesday because they are my company, my business, my government institution is doing this thing where it's like they're doing a ceremony to give people certificates that have done this certain in certification type of thing. I don't know.
What can I do for you?
I've never had anything like this in my career happen, where they want to call you down and have the board do a photo op with everyone that's completed this. So, but I'll be doing that Tuesday night next week. Yes, Glee contestant, what have you found? Oh, you know what? We didn't read this, can we? It's a sealed description of Thread's visitor. We got that from the guard, so he could have just given this the whole time.
Malik? No, the name doesn't sound familiar, and neither does this description, but it could be anybody. A former stonemason, one of the Defia's Brotherhood.
Defias, I always say that wrong.
Is as well connected as Thelwater suggests. Perhaps someone else might recognize him. Let me think. I really haven't a clue, adventurer. There is someone else who might be able to help you, and it so happens that he owes me a favor for, well, let's not get into that. Master Matthias Shaw of S.I. 7 can be found in the barracks in Old Town. Shaw has his thumb on most of the shady or underhanded dealings of the city. If anyone knows, it'd be him.
So he is giving us that sealed description back. We've completed the Curious Visitor now, and he's giving us one called Shadow of the Past. So it is a chain that we're doing. It's a pretty easy chain. It's mostly running around Stormwind, just trying to get to the bottom of who the heck was going into the Stockades and meeting with the prisoners, specifically the Defias prisoners within. And then it wouldn't be a crazy red string to connect from one thumbtack to another to say that that person could very well be also behind, since they obviously have ties and influence over the prison to be able to come and go and deal with the prisoners, and that they have a vested interest in supporting the prisoners, and that they were most likely behind the uprising. it wouldn't be crazy to also consider they might be behind not executing the criminals that were there. Here's the woman whose poor son died.
Hey there.
I see you're back, Paladin. Have you collected 10 red wool bandanas from those Defias scum the Stockade yet?
So these bandanas, filthy tokens of corruption, are what my Mac had to die for? Such a waste. Such a tragic sacrifice. But alas, I cannot return to the past. Just know, adventurer, that you have brought my family justice through your deeds.
Man, I'm like freaking Glee Contessa Wick over here. your child is murdered by a criminal organization. And so what do? That's probably more than I need. I go murder like 30 of the dudes and bring you their gear. Just bam, just smashing hammers. I mean, really, I murdered more than 30, but now I was part of a party of 5, so it would have to be, I'd have to be more like soloing. So you want to come down here to the SI 7 headquarters to talk to Matthias Shaw. He's part of a lot of quests like this where you're trying to get intel. So this is not the first time we've come to talk to him, and it probably won't be the last. If you're a rogue, definitely not. We're going to ask him, hey man, do you know anyone that meets this description?
Need help? Welcome to SI. 7 headquarters, adventurer. For the Alliance.
Greetings. Of what service can I be to you, Paladin?
What? What's this?
Huh?
Yes, I think I do know who this man is, but his name is not Malik. Assassins wear many names and many masks, discarding them as they lose their usefulness. Another alias known to be used by this man is Marzan, though even that is surely not his true name. Regardless, he is an assassin and I know a good deal about him. Marzan is currently under the employ of Lord Gregor Leskovar, a lord of shady reputation, even given the corruption of the nobility of Stormwind.
Okay, so we're getting a connection here. The dude is shady, but he's also a sort of hireling that does the shady side of business for one of the nobles, a nasty noble named Lord Gregor Leskovar.
That Marzan would be contacting a member of the Defias and have ties to Leskovar. Having killed Van Cleef and Thread, it would be hard to see Leskovar brought to proper justice, as your evidence is nothing without their testimonies. That is not even considering the fact that Leskovar is a noble and well-connected. It effectively makes him above the law. You'll need other help. I loathe to do so, but there is someone I know that will aid us. You'll find Trias in the trade district of the city.
Okay, so first of all, we just picked up Look to an Old Friend. So we did Shadow of the Past. That one's done now. And we are picking up Look to an Old Friend. So the computer didn't read that in the correct intonation. It's more like Matthias Shaw was in shock and he's like, that this guy would be connected to both the Defias and this particular lord. Like, he knows of this shady dude, and he's like, oh man, there's a connection. So he wants us to talk to this person again, someone that we talked to in the cheese shop that will give us a couple things. What's our time here? We'll look at time. On my Hearthstone, 11 minutes. I think before we resume this part of the... Close. Alright, we'll talk to the cheese guy first. What I want to do is time it so that we can use our Hearthstone to get us back to Stormwind from one of the runs that we do. Because we're going to have to also go to Redridge, Duskwood, and then we can end in the Wetlands. That's fine. Because that's the... We're going to be starting Hillsbrad next time anyway. Alright, so we're going to the cheese touch guy. Oh, that little bird. The guy named High Cat.
You're kidding. Shaw wants my help again? Of all the nerve. The Defias Brotherhood, you say? Well, you're certainly the bearer of wonderful news, aren't you? Next, you're going to tell me that Deathwing is still alive and attacking the city. All right, tell me everything from the beginning. And don't leave out something you think might not be important. I need to know it all.
That's a pretty cool helmet. Okay.
An interesting tale, and not one to be taken lightly. Yeah, I can help you, but what you need to do is divvy out a form of justice that's not legal if you're to see this through to the end. Leskovar and Marzen need to be dealt with, and swiftly. Do you think you're capable of such a thing? You decide. If so, then make haste to the castle and find an old friend of mine, a gnome named Tyrion. He's been watching Leskovar now for a couple weeks. He should be able to help you end this.
Okay, so what we are going to do before we do that is we're going to go turn in these other couple quests. But we will be coming back. He wants us to go to Stormwind Castle. And talk to a guy named Trias. Or no, maybe... What did it say? It's called Infiltrating the Castle. Tyrion. Tyrion Lannister.
These great beasts know paths that you can't find on foot.
Alright, first we're going to go over to Lakeshore.
Show you something new at the same time.
Luckily, these are not very far quests. We are also going to eventually need to hit up the Wetlands. But yeah, again, not really anything major to worry about there. These are nothing great. Alright, so what did we do? We just picked up Infiltrating the Castle, and we did Look to an Old Friend is now done. So Look to an Old Friend and Infiltrating the Castle. If you notice, we were working our way down this quest line. Interesting quest line. Dang it. But we're only about halfway through, because basically what will happen is, as we complete it, we'll have to work our way back. Like, we'll have to basically retrace our steps. So, items of some consequence, then the major quest, and then we'll basically work our way back and talk to the three guys. And that will be how you finish the Stockades quest line. And this is a quest line that actually began from Van Cleef. So, this is one of the longest story-driven... It's really the first big step to exposing the corruption that currently exists at the very, very core, the dead center, the heart of the Alliance, the Stormwind the Kingdom of Stormwind, and the Human Empire. And it's that's what it's showing. We're showing that it's rotten from within. So he basically said, in addition to the fact that he says, the fact that this person could be acting as a go-between between the Defias and the nobility of Stormwind, ... Now, I would read into that by saying, like, the fact that this is even happening, the fact that this is possible, right under our nose, the implications, all of these things are left unsaid. It's a very pregnant sentence. And the little babies that are going to pop out of this are that already have are things that are going to lead to the missing diplomat and perhaps other people missing at a higher level. No spoilers yet, because we still have episodes to go, miles to go before we wake. But here we're going to turn in to guard Breton what comes around. This is the orc we killed.
What can I do for you?
Have you been to Stormwind yet? To the Stockade? I fear whatever trickery that has kept Targor the Dread alive for this long will eventually bring about his freedom. He was sentenced to die, Deacon-tess, and not act as some political pawn on a noble's whim.
Targor the Dread has finally met his fate. I, for one, am glad to hear the beast now knows what it is like to be on the receiving end of death's ruthless grip. You have done well, adventurer. Sometimes the truest justice can only be found outside the courtroom and beyond the clouded vision of politics.
Alright, so we killed him. They tried to keep him alive. Either because the nobility wanted to also kind of foster an alliance between the darker elements of this rotten core and the Blackrock orcs, or just to help foment the insurrection and the instability
Where would you
within
like to fly
the
to?
castle.
Have a good one.
Hard to say. But that was called What Comes Around. So we are now done with What Comes Around. Bam. Turned in. Only 200 XP is kind of sad. We do have to sell off some of this junk here. Yeah, I really need to... All of this can be sold. Or is it quest stuff, but... Just trying to clean my bag up a little bit. Yeah, so... The end of that whole thing about the corrupt noble, in addition to that, he's saying... Basically, anybody that could have... we served as the kind of the mafia hit guy for a court case. Anybody that could have testified against this noble, if that was even going to be a possibility, we wanted to go through legal channels, you just murdered every single witness, right? Like, even Van Cleef is gone. There's nobody left that could serve as a witness. You murdered the people that they've been talking with within the prison, and you've murdered Van Cleef. So that, and even if we did find other forms of evidence, this guy is connected. So the chances of us creating a case against him that sticking are next to none.
Greetings.
So long as a molester of the dead, like Dextrin Ward, is permitted to live, justice stands betrayed. Return to me once Lord Ebonlock's sentence of death is carried out on that defiler Ward. We shall give the families of the dead the closure they deserve, and better yet, we will send a clear message to the House of Nobles in Stormwind.
So Dextrin Ward finally paid for his crimes against humanity? Good riddance to the scum, I say. And cheers to you, my friend. Not only have you given the families of the dead the peace of mind they deserve, you sent a poignant message to those corrupt bureaucrats in the House of Nobles. Stormwind must rise to the needs of the people of Duskwood, or we will break free from their tyranny.
Well, I failed in my in my attempt to figure out what would be a good timeline on my Hearthstone, because we have 2 minutes left. Alright, I guess I'm gonna sell, because this is borderline, like, what would the 2 minutes, will it take us 2 minutes to fly there? About.
What are you looking
I'll just sell, we'll just do this was gonna have to happen anyway. All of this stuff is not needed. And I did some smelting when I was waiting on you guys, but then they were...
claimed Duskwood, I haven't been able to sleep. I'm kept awake by the ghostly sounds of screaming on the breeze. It sounds almost like lambs screaming, and they won't stop.
Weird. That's a weird analogy. Oh, I need to make course grinding stuff. Dang it, I just always have odd numbers of these. It's frustrating. Okay, so maybe between those things, I could probably make on this anvil, like, something. These silvered bronze gauntlets. Oh, I only have enough to make one, but that's enough to give me at 165. So, when we head to the Wetlands, we could probably swing by Ironforge. We're going to look at our time when it comes to that. But I did gain one.
What can I do
there? Don't have enough. I could make some boots if I wanted, but well, yeah, now why the heck not? Because now the gauntlets and the boots give me the same amount, so for sure. Let's make the boots too. And I don't have enough for the iron whatever. This green iron leggings that's annoying. I could probably make some heavy grinding stones. Yeah, it doesn't really help me, but I already have one, so. Yeah, so we need some more recipe, is what we need, because maybe we have something better from the iron, like the iron whatever now. So I gotta sell that too. So we have also done 2 of the 4
Have a good one.
wool. So if we can just get another 120, and we have a few. We have 12, so 108 more. Then we can help send some to my mage that's an enchanter, because he probably still hasn't done them all, even though he's level 45. Oh, this guy is running stockades again, the tank I just ran it with. So how... Wait, what's our time? What the hell's our time? Okay, so now we're at an hour. We've already almost doubled the amount of time of this episode. Just running around turning these in. But we're pretty close to doing it all. And, you know, I owe you guys. I didn't do a record yesterday. I felt bad, really. It was such a ding-dong move, because... So first of all, totally poor planning. About an hour before I would have wanted to start my record, I was like, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and bake this pie. Well, the freaking pie takes an hour to bake. So I did not plan it at all. It's with a tomato pie, because it's a wet pie and you don't want to overcook the tomatoes, you have to do... Oh, bro. How do you get out of here? I have not fallen in this bad boy in a while. There's a way out right there. You have to do something known as blind baking for my bakers out there, which is where you make a crust and you pre-bake the crust before you put the filling of the pie in. Baking with Gleekon. Now I made a butter crust, an herb butter crust. So it's a typical butter crust, but I added some thyme and oregano into the crust the day before when I let it set in the fridge. I like to set mine overnight. And then once you roll it out, before you blind bake, you need to freeze the crust, and then blind baking itself takes about 20 minutes. Put a little egg wash on, maybe about 5 more minutes. And so that whole process takes about 30 to 45 minutes, and I didn't even start that till I was done prepping the pie, which was already like an hour in.
You have to be patient.
Don't worry,
with me,
I'll pick that back up.
I've got my spy bot inside working on a very delicate matter. I'll be with you in a second. Oh, and do me a favor. Try not to let Leskovar see you. We're about to ambush him. What the?
What the?
Don't sneak up on me like that. And keep your voice down. What in the name of the shadow are you doing sneaking up on me for? Can't you see I'm busy, you daft fool? What do you mean, what am I doing? I'm waiting for the next dark portal to open. What the heck do you think I'm doing? Speak your piece and be off with
Naughty
it.
little gnome.
When the guards notice the two of us hiding in the bushes together, I have a reputation to maintain. Trius wants the timetable pushed up some, huh? Okay, we can do that, but I'm not ready. And know this, I'm doing the hard part, but you're the one that's going to get our hands dirty.
Look at that.
Understand?
I'm an idiot.
Good. Okay, I'll need you to get me a few things before I can put my plan into effect. I got the perfect disguise that'll get Spybot past those guards. Bring me some silk and a couple apples. The silk's up to you, but Clara's little farm right outside the city has the perfect sized apples.
I am an idiot. So I had the silk. I completely forgot about needing it. And I made those bandages. So can someone please go back in time to when I was about to make those bandages and just smack me? It's just unacceptable. Look at all these people excited about Gua. Happy birthday, Gua. Gua? Gua? Telling you, that guy, he does a lot of... he says, look at them all. This guy's got a lot of fans. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool that that dude has it. That's a streamer I told you guys about before. He doesn't really have a lot of followers on that I saw, but I could 100% be wrong. But he does a lot of like raids, and he streams it on Twitch. All right, so what we have to do now is we have to go get these apples. But now I also look at this. There must. What the heck? Is there going to be a Stormwind drop right now? It's gotta be about to be a Stormwind drop. I'm gonna have to buy 2 silk now. Are you kidding me? I just need to buy 2 pieces of silk. What's it called? Silk cloth, I guess I need to specify. I don't want a bolt, I just want regular silk cloth. So 12 silver for 3. I guess I'm gonna buy that. So I just wasted 12 silver by doing that. I guess it's not the end of the world. I don't really care if we get our if we get this buff. Whatever. This is crazy. This is the most people I've ever seen in Stormwind. What on earth is this all about? Okay, so we have the silk that we need. Now we've got to go get those apples. Cray. Hopefully we can get the apples and come back. Make it back in time. If there is a buff or something coming up. What time is it? Ooh, 7:44. I wonder if it's going to happen at 7:45. That would be my guess. 7:45 is right now. Okay, so we have to just go there and back. So it wasn't at 7:45 on the dot. So, oh, what does that say? 7:43 realm time. That's 2 minutes. We might have a chance. I didn't hear anybody talking about the buff. I also don't really super duper care. We get an hour buff, we get an hour buff. We're technically still considered to be within Stormwind when we're right here, too, so. This guy says any buffs incoming. I mean, it's a cray party over there. Maybe they're all there for Guad's birthday. Guad! Dropper isn't online, by the way. Not to mention, I mean, that doesn't really mean much. I mean, they could just pop on land and drop. Once we turn this in and go back, or once we grab this and go back, we'll be in Stormwind for a few. So, what we're doing, we're going to get some delicious apples. This is a quest we've done before. Also, it's kind of silly. You need to go get some silk cloth and some big, plump, fresh apples. How many apples? 2 of them. You need 2 hefty apples. And you're gonna wrap those apples in some silk cloth. It's actually almost Monty Python-esque in the humor of this quest. It is just silly to the maximum. The concept is, the conceit is if you take that little tinker robot that this guy has, and you throw 2 apples wrapped in cloth on him, he all of a sudden becomes a woman. So, they don't have the... Wait. Yeah, no, they're not sitting with the buff. Wait. These people all have this. But the people without the translocator thing or whatever don't seem to have it on. So that's good. If there really isn't a buff, the dropper isn't online, just go ahead. Alright, 2 more minutes until the drop. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't care either. Oh, you know what we need? We need to pick up the quest. So what quest did we pick up just now? Infiltrating the Castle was when we went and talked to that dude. So we turned in the Duskwood quest, and we just did that. And now we're picking up items of some consequence. What are these items? Again, 2 shiny, plump, red apples. And what goes with those shiny red apples? Some nice, smooth silk cloth to wrap them in. Do I need to spell it out to you? So, we're going to go turn this robot into a gorgeous woman. Uh-oh. Someone has killed the leader of Blackrock Mountain, and Nefarian has been subdued. Woohoo! The rallying cry of the Dragon Slayer is now on us. So that's the buff. And we are gonna use it for this quest. Now, it's not really that tough. Not really that hard for our level character to do this quest, but if you're doing it closer to, you know, level 25, 6, 7, somewhere around there, it can be trickier if you're doing it, well, like when we first did the quest for Stockades. Even if you're getting close to around level 30 or so, it can be trickier. So, once we do this, we'll have to turn in a couple. This is the final little tricky thing, and we'll have to fly over to Wetlands and turn that into. All right, buddy, we did it. This is the beautiful woman. Once he gets 2 apples.
Daylight's burning.
I've been watching Lescavar for a couple weeks now. Trias has never trusted him, but we didn't suspect he was involved in anything to do with the Defiance Brotherhood. We were following leads that tied him to the Twilight's Hammer. Either way, he's become more dangerous than this city can deal with, and that's where we come in. Give me those items and we can put my plan into effect.
So he's actually also... There's now a connection between the Twilight's Hammer and all this.
These will do nicely, adventurer. Great job. I have the rest of the gear I'll need in my pack. Thank the light. I just got a tailor friend of mine to make me a silk bag. I was running out of room carrying all my gear around. Before Spybot heads in, let's get the details set so you know what you have to do.
Okay, so this is called the attack.
After I put on Spybot's disguise, he'll head in to talk to Lescavar. The guards should let him pass no problem. While you were getting materials for me, I
Your
took
command.
care of informing Marzan that it was time for him and Lescavar to meet again. I even dropped some false information. Lescavar will dismiss his guards and wait for Marzan out here in the garden. After you catch wind of talk about the Defias, make your move.
See?
You need to kill them both
This is why
before
I'm
the guards
broken.
return. When you're done, speak to Trias.
Okay, so first of all, items of some consequences now done. And we've picked up the attack. Cool. Now he says...
Wait here, Gleek and Tessa. Spybot will make Lescavar come out as soon as possible. Be ready. Attack only after you've overheard their conversation.
Good day to you both. I would speak to Lord Lescavar.
Of course, he awaits you in the library.
Thank you. The light be with you, both. It says that you should be, like, waiting until they attack or hiding. I don't know. I've never had them be like, no, I caught you, and then ruin the quest. You need to kill both. You need to overhear their conversation and then kill Lord Gregor Lescavar, because
We are above the law.
and Marzan the Silent Blade, who is his partner or friend, his employee, the assassin, who or rogue type, who is serving as his contact for the Defias, but also is an agent of the burning of the, I guess, of the Twilight's Hammer. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily that the people behind all of this, the dark forces corrupting Stormwind, are in alliance explicitly with the Twilight's Hammer or the Old Gods, because the Twilight's Hammer and Old Gods, if you remember, they just want the destruction of everything on Azeroth. There's Lord Gregor Lescavar, so she's following him. She's leading him out. It's kind of weird, because he then comes out. She just triggers him to come out. I don't understand why. It's time for my meditation. Leave me. And then look, she walks over here. Yes, sir. Okay. Hehehe, I will watch you. He's 31, and then you'll see Marlon the Blade stealth up. He wants to meet him alone. You can hear the stealth. Lord Gregor Lescavar waits for the guards to be out of sight. There he is. See, he's 30.
Light be with you.
There you are. What news from Westfall? Van Cleefton's words that the plans are underway, but he said rumors about someone snooping about. It could be that man on the shore. I will see what I can discover. Be off with you. I'll contact you again soon.
Okay, just want to hit him one time too. Okay. I was not worried, but maybe they thought I might have died if I didn't do it right. I don't know. There we go. Now you don't turn it into that guy. That mage just went and got everything. They just went and killed him for me, but no worries. We would have been fine. And then he says... he was still talking. He said,
Very well. I will return then. The Defiers shall succeed. No meek adventurer will stop us. What? How dare you? That's it. That's what you were waiting for. Kill them!
now who are we telling that this happened to? We're going back to the cheese man. To tell him. Guess what? We've killed him.
I am above the law.
So, they're obviously out of touch because they're still under the impression that Van Cleef is alive. So, I don't really know what to say about all that. She-Ra just ran by. Or maybe it was He-Man. Alright, so we're going to go and talk to the cheese man. Now we're just basically going to be retracing all of our contacts. Talk to the one, he'll send us back to the other one, send us back to the other one. And then we're going to go over to the wetlands, and then we'll be done with this dungeon.
So it is done. Good. Thank you greatly for your discretion, adventurer. You've proven worthy on more than one count. I'll be sure to keep my eyes on you and your progress within the Alliance. Be sure to keep your nose clean. Find Shaw in Old Town. Let him know that the Leskovar threat has been dealt with, and about your involvement in the Lord's plots against the city. I'm sure he'll be proud to have another hero among Stormwind's citizens. He'll more than likely send you off to meet with the prince or some other noble. Don't let it get to your head, adventurer. The nobles can think they rule the city all they want, but some things remain out of their hands.
Okay. So... the head of the beast here. He basically is saying that cool. You know? Good job. You killed him. Go tell Shaw. And it just goes to show you the nobility are not as powerful as they think. Whoa. That quest is called the Head of the Beast, and so we're going to do that. We're going to tell Shaw.
King's honor, friend. He is dead, then? Your justice was swift, adventurer. I pray to the light that I never become your quarry. I mean no criticism, adventurer. How could I, being the master of all assassins? But in truth, you have done the people of Stormwind a great service, and for that, I thank you. Ah, I almost forgot. Alexton came while you were away. He wished to speak with you. No doubt he wishes to report the goings-on of the Defias Brotherhood to the nobles. A bit of advice, adventurer. If anyone should ask, I would provide all details, but that it was your hand that slew Leskovar. Trust me, I am acquainted with the ways of such things. And as far as Trius goes, well, speak to no one of him, ever, if you can help it.
So basically, as a noble paladin, we have assassinated someone outside of the law, definitely breaking Dungeons & Dragons' lawful good paladin rules. And, you know, we've continued to gain the respect of the Master of Assassins for our efficiency at the job. And he is saying, you know, take it from me, as the leader of the assassins, you don't go saying, go ahead and tell the nobles, your buddy, go ahead and tell him that the job is done and he was assassinated. Just simply, you know, a lie of omission. Don't tell Don't mention that it was you that actually struck the killing blow. Trust me. Trust me, Holmes. Okay. I will. I will do that. Alright, so we're gonna go tell him exactly that. We'll hit the spreadsheet up in a minute.
It's good to see you, adventurer. I have heard that Lord Gregor Leskovar was found dead not long ago. It would seem that you were successful in your mission. You have my gratitude that you have saved me and many others from Van Cleef's revenge. I have prepared a report for the king. I believe you should be the one to deliver it to him, along with an account of your findings. Do not worry. There is no doubt that he will commend you for doing your duty to the people of Stormwind. Your audience is scheduled soon, so you'd best hurry. It's a bit of a ways to Stormwind Keep.
Okay, so he gives us a report that says this. From the hand of Barrows Alexton, Office of the City Architect, Stormwind. Your Majesty, there are many reasons as to why I felt that a report should be compiled and presented on the recent affairs of the Defias Brotherhood and their activities throughout the kingdom. For perspective, I shall begin with a bit of history. As you may or may not know, my service to the city of Stormwind began as a member of the Stonemasons Guild. Through years of work, we completed the rebuilding of Stormwind, at which time the Stonemasons Guild bills and fees and salaries left unpaid and unspoken for. At that time, Edwin Van Cleef had been elected Guildmaster of the Stonemasons and spoke out demanding restitution for our works. In response, the Stormwind House of Nobles offered the Stonemasons Guild, ordered it disbanded, which understandably angered Van Cleef. Leading a riot, Van Cleef led the Stonemasons out of the city. Before I continue, there are some other events that took place during this time that I should bring to your attention. First, it was at this time that I was offered the position of city architect if I did not join with Van Cleef. Because of certain ideological differences, I chose to remain in Stormwind. During the riots, Van Cleef's lieutenant and most trusted assistant Basil Thread was captured and held in prison. Awaiting trial and questioning, Thread was almost forgotten about in the stockade. Returning to Van Cleef after he led the remnants of the stonemasons out of Stormwind, he took advantage of the relatively unprotected state of Westfall and used his considerable manpower to run many of the farmers off and take over the handful of gold mines. Oh, I see what he means. Returning to Van Cleef, like the topic of Van Cleef. Taking advantage of the resources at his disposal, Van Cleef hatched a plan of retribution against the government of Stormwind. This information came to light recently with the assistance of the bearer of this document, who was instrumental in shedding light on this vast conspiracy.
Well met.
And we're going to go tell Lady Katrana Prester, and she glares at us for even going near her.
Farewell.
Glee Contessa, yes. I was informed by Baron Alexton that you would be coming. I must say I am most interested in what you have to say.
You are to be commended for the service you have done for Stormwind, adventurer. If Van Cleef had been successful in his machinations, he would no doubt have done considerable harm to the kingdom, something we must obviously avoid. Take this, adventurer, as a token of the king's appreciation. I am only sorry he cannot present it to you himself, but he is away on a diplomatic mission and shall not return for some time.
Diplomatic mission, my left foot. The whole point of doing that, though, it's incredibly worth it. Look at this ring. It's one of the best rings. It's probably best in slot ring at this level. Obviously, if you are not a mixed caster, like for say a warrior, this is a slightly less, but it's still 10 points of valuable stats even to a warrior, which is pretty solid for this level. For us, every single one of these stats is valuable, so this is, you know, like a 17-point ring compared to a 10 or a 12. So the Silverlands family seal is actually a nice ring. 7 strength, 3 stam. This is also 3 stam, but would I rather have 3 intellect and 6 spirit or 7 strength? I think I'd rather have the 9. So I'm going to actually get rid of the Deep Fathom ring. Both level 21 rings. So, but I'm replacing it with this guy. So I'm going to keep I'm going to go up by +1 stamina and then 3 intellect, 6 spirit. So I'm dropping 3 spirit, gaining an intellect, but I'm gaining 3 strength and 3 agility. So that is it's just a good ring, especially if you're a class that benefits from all stats like we do. It's just a solid ring. No if, ands, or buts about it. And we have a pretty good amount of, look at all these blues we have. Boom, boom, boom. She's pretty decently equipped. So, why are we going over here? Well, we were going to have to fly to the area anyway. To go turn in the final quest in the zone. How are we on time? Let's also, we'll look at this while we fly. Yeah, so we're coming up on the time that I would want, but I want to train, because up until 225 we can only train our blacksmithing here in Ironforge, and we did hit 165, so we have a couple new skills, and then it's also in the direction of where we could fly anyway. I'm gonna actually fly us to Refuge Point, because the run from Refuge Point down to this guy is actually quicker. And then we'll be all set up to start Hillsbrad Foothills tomorrow. Now, when we start Hillsbrad Foothills, let's look and see what we have. It is predominantly a horde zone. There are a couple harder quests for Alliance, so we'll probably take a break with Homegirl here after this and do the we'll pick up our we'll go back to our shaman. We'll do Hillsbrad as a shaman, and it will be a nice little addition. So she's already 35. If you look at it, we're very close to 36. So we'll be 36 and change, which means it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to hit the 39 mark.
A fast learner is what ye are, and a good smith to boot. I would sign off on your work.
Green iron braces.
But I sense you still have some learning in you. Go talk to Benger's Deepforge. He's a hard taskmaster, but he's also one of the best.
So
I hope you didn't come all the way to the Great Forge just to stay warm. Speak up, lass. Tell me what it is I can do for you.
So I'm not that worried about it. The green iron braces are better than the green iron leggings because they don't require the heavy stones and they require less. So we'll be using those for sure. They're not anything special in terms of stats. But we'll also still go on and keep collecting bronze in the meantime.
The Wildhammer dwarves might have fast steeds, but can those airy pink griffins stand the heat of the Great Forge?
The heat of the Great Forge.
Okay, so the attack all the way through Audience with the King, that is done. Done, pick up, done, pick up, done, pick up, done. So we can go back, bam, 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 bam. And then right now we're going to go turn in the very last quest for Stockades, which is A Fury Runs Deep. And look at... Oh, so I'm just going to go ahead. We got another thing done. Now, Hillsbrad will take us a little bit, not a crazy amount of time. It's very easy for the Alliance. There is a very high chance we can finish the Alliance part of it in one episode. These, maybe two, just because the... where are they at? Soothing Turtle Bisque takes a little bit. What's down the coast? There's one of these things. Maybe it's Farron's Proof. One of these quests makes you... Yeah, these maybe. They're the ones where you're just having to kill 20 things, kill 20 things, kill 20 things. The Hints of the New Plague line, that's not that hard. What? I just don't know. I'm gonna look at Down the Coast and just make sure that I'm not missing that. So Costly Menace, Down the Coast. Now some of these things are actually like the Crush Ridge Bounty, the Assassin's Contract. Actually, that's I can't wait for when we actually do that for Alterac. Syndicate Assassins. Those are actually Alterac Valley. That's Alterac Valley. So that right there, the Ensorcelled Parcher. That's all Alterac Valley. That we won't be doing for a little while. So same thing with the Horde. Some of the quests that are listed that you could pick up there are really, we're going to consider that Alterac Valley. It's just how it goes. I've actually just started doing Swamp. I finally finished Arathi Highlands, and I'm starting to do Swamp of Sorrows. On the next episode, too, somewhere in this stretch for Hillsbrad, when we hit 35, we need to do the 35 runs. But she's not our shaman. She being our shaman is not really quite there yet. She can fly just a little bit. But yeah, this is it's pretty good. We're making great progress. Now, if you look at where we're at in the game and how we came about it, and where we were compared to what we did, so we still have to do all of Hillsbrad. Now, that is, from an Alliance side, we had already covered all this on the show. Horde, we covered a lot of it, but we're going to actually take it a little further than what we covered on our previous. So for the first time ever, we're going to get some pieces we haven't done, which is pretty cool. Then Thousand Needles, same deal. We've already completely done it. We did not do it with Alliance, but we're going to finish out Thousand Needles, so help us God. And that will mean that we're doing a little bit more than we did before, because we weren't even close to 39 on that account. And from that point on, we are golden. After Thousand Needles, or in that time period, we're also going to do Razorfen, Crawl, and Nomergon. That we've already done too. So we are currently right now in that sort of transition. When we start Deathless, that's going to be a whole new zone, and within that, we're going to do Razorfen Downs, which we had not done. And we're going to do all of Scarlet Monastery, which we had done. So once we finish Deathless and Scarlet Monastery, so we only have 3 zones to go, we're already now starting with Hillsbrad in the area where you're going to see things we've never done on the show before. So we finally caught that point up. And we're also, once we get to done with Scarlet Monastery and we're working on, or all the way done with Deathless, then we are officially we're officially all fresh. And I'm not that much further. If you look at my spreadsheet for what I'm actually pre-doing, I'm not that much past it. So I did Hillsbrad, I've done Thousand Needles, the Razorfen Crawl, Nomergon, all of Deathless, Razorfen Down, Scarlet Monastery. But then past that, all I've done is Alterac Mountains and Arathi Highlands. Things have slowed for me. And if we do get to that point, I'm going to buy myself time by making episodes that are... we're just going to get back into the reading for a little bit. We'll switch over to that. And I know some of you guys, my OG fans especially, that's what made you end up falling in love with, or at least liking and subscribing and joining in on this channel in the first place. So the show won't be tamping off in episodes. I just might need a little bit more time, especially right now when we're just this show is outpacing what I have the free time to do in real life, and that is what it is. Even when I'm working from home, I just make longer records, and so no matter what, by then I can sometimes keep pace. But when we do an episode like this, look how many quests we finished today. We did all of the Stockades quests. So I mean, we're talking. Let's look at this. We are talking, boom, 16 quests. I would never do 16 quests just isn't happening in a day for me. On a good day, like the best, I'm just playing so much and the quests are fast and everything in my life is no distractions. I might finish around 13, 14, maybe 15 quests. So, and that's just because I don't play that much. I really don't. It makes it sound like a lot. Or I play very slowly and very methodically. The reason why I'm kind of quick on the spreadsheets on the show is because of the amount of work that I put into it on the back end. Oh gosh, that just made me remember how hard it was for me to get that mission on the last episode. I was bad. I don't want to log out, but I also kind of don't want to. We have 75k of rested XP left. That's probably fine. There's a paladin over there. Alright, going to turn this in.
What can I do for you?
I won't let foolish human bureaucracy interfere with dwarven matters, Gleekantissa. Cam Deepfury is a proven conspirator in the Dandelspan attack. King Deepfury's deceit. Oh. King Magni's good people lost their lives because of Deepfury's deceit. The humans might be content to let Deepfury rot in the stockade, but I will not sleep soundly at night until Deepfury is slain.
So Cam Deepfury finally got to feel what it is like to be on the receiving end of death?
Yes?
Serves the cowardly Dark Iron scum right. You have done well, adventurer. The victims of the Thandol Span attack were but mere victims in a world torn with war and unrest. Their families will have the peace of knowing Deep Fury got
Hire
the
me, please.
punishment deserved. Longrade's brother's death.
I finally know what it's like to be on the receiving end of death.
Alright, with that fantastic literary work, we are done. Another dungeon. Another big chapter. Another episode. In the freaking pipe 5x5. Thank you everybody so much for watching and for tuning in. And I'll see y'all tomorrow on Lore of Warcraft.